Good evening, friends. This side Rahul Magan here is a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting, and also a venture capitalist. Now, standing today, which is 27th October 2019, which is practically on the morning of the Diwali, which is an Indian celebration. At 2 a.m., we're going to be shooting a pretty important video about a very different stuff which is happening in the venture capital space. Now, before that, I was in Mumbai last week. I bought this book from the airport, and the book of that, the Untold Flipkart Story. Well, I'm not a brand endorser of this book, neither I'm supporting this book, but why I let you know about this book is that I'm reading this book from one perspective, and that is that how to fool a VC. So, how to fool a venture capitalist, this is what I'm learning from Sachin Bansal and Binny Bansal. Because we all know that nowadays in the venture capitalist industry there is a lot of things which are happening, and I am going to be putting a lot of data today before you. Well, before starting up this video, we know very well that a lot of people do not appreciate the thoughts. They think that we are speaking too bold. Yes, we are speaking too bold because we are not a Republic TV, neither we are Aaj Tak. That we need to understand very clearly, those who are supporting a relevant corporate. We are the one, those who know how to speak the facts. So let's start the truth. So last week we got two news. Number one, well, before giving this news, let me tell you a small story. I started this company in 2016 July, and initially when I was visiting in the conference, like few conferences, in one of the conferences by Internet and Mobile Association of India, I was invited, and I met up with my co-speaker who was from MobiQuick. I think three co-speaker from MobiQuick, one from Bank Bazaar, and one is from Policy Bazaar. As usual, even though in majority of the conferences wherever wherever I go, I always be the youngest, but still it doesn't matter. So I put my views, and all three, MobiQuick, the Bank Bazaar and the Policy Bazaar, they were not very happy from me the way I was putting the views, because I was of the view that the VC industry, which is the funding which is happening to these platforms, will not continue. Now eventually what happened that during the lunch session they all ignored me, and 15 days before we got a news that MobiQuick, 3 years before, this media made MobiQuick as God. God. Like today, this media is making Paytm as God. And today the scene is that MobiQuick is in talk with PayU, which is part and parcel of the South African Naspers, for sale of their company. They are already under the redundancy mode. They fired their people from their company. They are reducing their people. Now MobiQuick is selling, and MobiQuick is nothing but a kind of a digital wallet, and you would be very surprised to know that the companies like MobiQuick and Paytm got traction much early. The companies like Google Pay and Phone Pay come very late, and specifically if we talk about the Google Pay, it came very late. But the way they captured the market is tell us that you come early or you come late is not making any sense if you have a right product in the parcel. Now Google Pay success in Indian market rediscovers the fact that the India is a quality and product conscious market rather than the cashback market. So when I was at the Mumbai airport, I saw a lot of hoardings from Vijay Shekhar Sharma, the Paytm, basically the cashback he is offering. Now, eventually, Vijay Shekhar Sharma cannot offer any good product. The only thing which he can offer is the cashback. That is the only thing. Now, what happened that I got some data on MobiQuick, and the data is like that. Then 2016-17, the revenue is in rupees. So all number are in rupee crores. In 2016-17, the revenue was at 44.3 crores. And the loss is 132 crores, 3 times. How much is your profit? 244. How much is your sales? 44.3 crores. And how much is your loss? 132.8 crores. 3 times than the sales is your loss. 2017-18, your top line sales grew by 85.6, which is double than that of the last year. and loss is 204 crores, which is 2.5 times. So this time lost 2.5 times. Such companies do only exist in the system till the time a venture capitalist is funding. The day venture capitalist is raising the hand, these companies either shut down or they end up selling themselves. We got another news in the market that 3 years before, our so-called bloody corrupt and incompetent media made this company also a king, which is Pepperfry. Now, Pepperfry and Urban Ladder, in both the cases, Pepperfry and Urban Ladder are not only firing the people but cutting the finance cost, and more importantly, the co-founder of the Urban Ladder quitted. And as usual, he quitted with a very standard line set, and that standard line is that I am quitting due to personal reasons. This is very stupidity, height of stupidity. The company has made. I hope you remember the Ashutosh. Sorry, I'm forgetting the name of that actor who was in the Indian movie Vicky Donor, right? Anshuman Khurana. Now he was basically the brand endorsement of the Urban Ladder, and now the co-founder quitted. Urban Ladder and Pepperfry, both who used to be the god as set up by our media, is now in talks with big players like Amazon to sell themselves to them. Are we heading as consolidation? We don't know, because one thing which is pretty sure that another news which I'm going to tell you is a pretty scary news, and that scary news is that SoftBank agreed to stabilize. I call this as stabilize. SoftBank agrees to stabilize WeWork at the valuation of 8 billion, approximately 8 billion. I would like to check with SoftBank. Who was the intelligent person who computed the valuation of 48 billion in February? You want me to believe that a company WeWork, who had nothing to do with the technology, is actually a tech company? And now you want me to believe that WeWork is valuing at $8 billion, and immediately after this news is coming that SoftBank is rescuing, I call this as stabilized WeWork, by paying approximately 8 at a valuation of 8 billion, wherein they decided to pay 1.7 billion to the out CEO of the company to remove his control from the board, 1.7 billion US dollars. And they are arranging a funding line of $5 billion, and this time they are not arranging from the big boys like Goldman and JP, they are arranging from SoftBank. So now the question is that a very simplistic thing is which is known as fund accounting and unrealized gain and loss. Our media, unfortunately, including Bloomberg, suggested that this September quarter, as and when the result will come in the public domain, SoftBank will face a hit of $5 billion to $7 billion. My question is, why $5 to $7 billion? They must have accounted WeWork at $48 billion, because the private valuation was led by WeWork, by SoftBank. It's not by WeWork. If they accounted WeWork at $48 billion and now this is less than 8 billion, and this 8 billion is again coming from SoftBank, and we know that till what extent auditors are paid. I would like to stop here. In this week, one thing more happened, which is that Infosys, although this news is not directly relevant here, Infosys is being a whistleblower, and an anonymous whistleblower send email or mails, come whatever recording proves, to the SEC, Security and Exchange Commission, and alongside to the Infosys via an email, and stating that they have fudged their financial figures. And whatever the limited information suggests, which is coming in the public domain, that SEC already started probing that, or already probing that. And more importantly, the one legal firm is filing the class action lawsuit. Basically, they are having a lot of investors from American Depository Receipts, and they wanted to have a class action lawsuit on Infosys. They have not yet stated in their letter how much damages they are seeking from Infosys, but we don't know. Now the question is that when the companies like Infosys, and even I was having a lot of trust on Infosys, when the companies like Infosys are underreporting or overreporting their financials as to stimulate their share price or whatever, then the question is till what extent we can rely on a number provided by the SoftBank. Can we have a blind eye on the financial statement provided by the private equity players like KKR, like SoftBank? We can have any. KKR and SoftBank is just an example. Can we have blind eye on the financial result provided by these players? Can we trust on the auditors? EY, KPMG, Deloitte, PwC. You name and they have several hundred scandals which are on their name on the Google. In most of the scandals, the cases are either still going on, or God knows when the punishment would happen. This is how the law works. Even in Singapore, they did lot of issues just like high flags, and there are many. Now the question is that if SoftBank, who recorded WeWork at 48 and now it is less than 8 billion, it means there is a whole of 40 billion. And whatever limited information coming in the media does suggest that it's not end up with SoftBank, it's not end up at WeWork. Rather, they have a lot of clients in their portfolio who are facing almost similar kind of situation but not being reported into the media. Now the question is that is the SoftBank Vision Fund, so-called Vision Fund, because I had made a video 3-4 months before that the only thing missing in the SoftBank Vision Fund is the vision. But is the SoftBank Vision Fund is coming to an end? I think so, because how could you lose the WeWork? How could you lose Uber? And how could this stupid CEO of the Uber coming in the public domain and asking people to shred their cars and go with the Uber only because you are in losses? Boss, you lost more than $5 billion in a quarter, and still you coming in the public domain and justifying your business model. You lost 5 billion in a quarter. Now we eventually reached to a level when the venture capitalists, leading players like Sequoia and the SoftBank, they have decided that they need to hit the market as far as the initial public offer is concerned, and so that they can quit as early as possible, because they themselves know that they will not get funding at the news which is coming in the public domain. More importantly, if the impairment loss of over $40 billion would be put forward by SoftBank in their books, then it would be a mess up for the SoftBank, literally a mess up. I went to financial terminals and I got some information that the SoftBank Corp, although I not got any information about the SoftBank Vision Fund, but the SoftBank Corp is currently trading at a share price of 1475 Japanese yen, while the total debt, you would be surprised to know that the total debt in the books of SoftBank Corp is around 3 trillion yen. 3 trillion yen is the total debt they have in their books, and this debt is ballooning. I hope I need not to explain the meaning of the ballooning. Now the moral of the story is pretty clear. The big players in India are panting up, which include the Pepperfry, which includes the Urban Ladder, which includes your so-called MobiKwik. We have already saw Flipkart, we already saw Walmart, and there are thousands of small and medium-term startups who are not reported in the public domain. But the few frauds in India are actually being made hero by our newspapers like Vijay Shekhar Sharma, Sachin Bansal, Binny Bansal, Ritesh Agarwal, and these few people make as a hero actually. The reason of the matter is that because the media is paid and incompetent, and a lot of information about the venture capitalists is not coming in the public domain. So it is not like Google Finance, Yahoo Finance, Reuters, Bloomberg, where the information is available. So example, if I need to have information about Sequoia portfolio, how much unrealized gain and losses Sequoia booked this quarter, and would like to compare on the last 5 quarters, do I have that information in the public domain? I don't. And still we call these companies as ethical companies. We still believe that the auditors, those who are doing auditing of these financial statements, are not corrupt. And we tend to believe that Vijay Shekhar Sharma, Sachin Bansal, Binny Bansal, Ritesh Agarwal, Bhavesh Agarwal, and all these are doing a wonderful job. It could be Cab Ride Ola, it could be Oyo. No one has to do with the technology, but all are using the tech word next to them. To cut the long discussion short, I would like to let you know that now the new scene which is happening in the industry is the dairy tech. So first fintech, regtech, cryptocurrency, insurtech, lending tech, and clean tech, and now dairy tech. Every day a new fancy word coming into the market, and these VCs are investing on these fancy words. And I'm sure that this tendency will continue over the next 15, 20 years, and eventually these all VCs will die. But that is for sure that the way SoftBank is heading nowadays, sooner or later SoftBank has to either amend the way they are working, they need to look towards profitability, or they cannot sustain in the market. Because this is not the rightest way that you are continue to fund the loss making companies like Paytm and all, and you believe that your valuation will rise while the reality is that it is getting down. So this is the truth. And the last but not the least, it would have a severe implication on India. Number one, if these startups will die, then there would be thousands of jobs that would lay off. It is already there, but they are not being reported in the market. Like Zomato shed off around 10% of the workforce. Can I have one business news channel who dare to call the Zomato CEO and ask him, you shed out 10% of the workforce. What's the reason? Irrespective of that, they got another funding of $600 million from Ant Financial and one more party. And what do you think? They would be able to save? Vijay Shekhar Sharma, whatever limited information in there in the public domain, it is said that he is getting another $2 billion from unconfirmed sources. Do you think this $2 billion will save Vijay Shekhar Sharma from Google? Google is deep pocket company. It's a cash rich company, boss. And why are you forgetting that? They have a lot of business domain. They have cloud, they have search, they have what not. What not? Do you think such a deep pocket company can be beaten up by a company who is Vijay Shekhar Sharma Paytm, who is in the losses since inception? I don't know where is the GK, the general knowledge or the intelligent questions of the SoftBank, and what they see before they invest in these companies. But one good thing is there, that this time they will not get a Walmart who will come and pay these companies. Rather, eventually these companies will die. To cut the long discussion short, 3 years before, MobiKwik was a king in India by this corrupt media. And today, MobiKwik is again a king in the media because they are selling their company. 5 years before, this media made Flipkart as a king, and now you see Flipkart. Snapdeal, you see Snapdeal, and there are humongous amount of cases. So the youth which is actually working in these companies, his or her career is at stake, because Bhavesh Agarwal, Ritesh Agarwal, Sachin Bansal, Binny Bansal and Vijay Shekhar Sharma and a lot of people like that, they will only take the funding, play valuation game, and then they sell their stake, earn money, and they quit. Whatever happens to these thousands of people is not making sense. But please be rest assured that regulator will not going to take any action. Regulator will continue to sleep. Maybe they are paid. But one good thing would happen, that eventually this startup story will down, and even a genuine startup who need the funding will definitely not get the funding. For this, we thank you very much, and you know my mobile number, which is +91, which is an Indian code 9899242978. You know our fixed income platform, www.fixedincome.global. And before moving, would like to give you good news that our business channel is round the corner, not very far. We are already negotiating with the vendor, the infrastructure is in place, and sooner, maybe by December, our business channel would be on the card. And our business channel will not support any corporate, rather it will support the fact that I showed you. Have a good time and enjoy valuation game. Thank you.